A few seconds. Hey, what's up? It's Frank here. I just wanted to demonstrate something that I tested out last night that I was actually at very first very skeptical of. It's the idea that using a virtual reality headset to simulate a higher resolution or bigger TV. So let's give this a shot. Let's see if it's actually broadcasting. So I am playing now the Guy in a Cube video. Come on. And this is the mute that. Alright. So you'll see that I have this experience. Hopefully you can see that. Yes, you can see that. And I don't see comments here. But what I'm actually looking at now is my monitor screen, but broadcast kind of on this virtual monitor. And I can reset the view. Let's see, I want to do that. I can change the height of it. I can move it like there. I can change the distance. Right. And I can change the curve of the monitor. Come on. Whether it's flat or wraps around me. And I can adjust the size. So I can get a really kind of big environment here. Now this may be useful kind of in mobile environments. And I was actually very skeptical of this because it's totally bogus. It's totally virtual. It's not really real. I'm talking in this direction, assuming that I think the camera is there. But I have to say, it is cool watching these things kind of on these big screens. Furthermore, you can totally change the experience. Ever wondered what it would look like to have Frank's World on a theater experience? Look. Perfect seating. Let's see what Guy in a Cube would look like. So this is actually pretty cool. You can kind of simulate a environment where you're learning stuff. They also have a more traditional type of environment. That's pretty funny. I didn't notice this before. Oh, that's disturbing. So there's the virtual computer. I don't know what this actually does. Oh, look at that. Let me pause it. So you'll see that this is kind of very real in the sense where it feels real. Oops. Here we go. There must be some good stories behind these things. That's a poster of Mark Zuckerberg as the hero. I will leave no comment. Here's another example of a virtual environment. I didn't look behind me. Oh, look at that. Let's see what else. Oh, that's cool. Nice little home theater. Wow. Cool. But this one's actually pretty interesting. Dark cinema. You can kind of watch this in a big environment. I'm not sure what practicality use this would have. There we go. I'll get to the other tab. Alright, somehow I hit full screen on this. I don't know. It's pretty cool. I think it's interesting to kind of see these. This is a video from Lillian that I posted this morning. Pretty cool, actually. Look around. The rendering environment is actually pretty cool. Let's see if I go back to here. Quit. So this is that virtual environment. There is a way to change that. Quick settings. I swear I found it. Settings. Oh yeah. So let's change it to this new one. This is new. Very tranquil. In the middle of the redwoods. This one's pretty cool. The cyberpunk one. So can look around. There's a futuristic city. And what's cool if I have the real perspective, if you kind of, right now I have it set in a stationary area, and it won't display. I mean, I can't walk around, but in that you actually can walk around and kind of look out the window and stuff like that. If I stand up, you can kind of see that that environment is still there. So, oh, I'm even looking away from the camera. That's funny. Let's see. Do I have comments? Oh. Hey, I see some folks have commented. So, hey, David. Hello, Shubham. I'm sorry, I'm mispronouncing that. And I have a spammer on Twitch. So, one of the things I'm looking to do is see if I can maybe get comments kind of appear in here. Let's go and see what comments I have here on LinkedIn. Apparently I am still live. Let me mute that. Can I mute that? Yes, I am muted. Ultimately, I don't know. I think it's an interesting technology. I think it would say, hey, it's Saduki. Hey, how's it going? What do you think, huh? Is this pretty cool or what? Let's see if I get back in. There we go. Back in my cyber apartment. Let's see. I got this. I got this. Let's see what else there is. So I was actually playing this last night. This one actually gave me a bit of motion sickness, the Iss Mission. So, let me see. I think this is where I'm pointing to the camera. And what's interesting was, and you see this a lot in sci-fi, particularly the more realistic ones, like The Expanse. And I haven't gone through the training. I just wanted to explore kind of what the ISS looked like, what it would be like on board. Here we go. There it is. First off, it's a lot bigger than I thought it would be. There we go. And the music reminds me of the opening theme song of Deep Space Nine. Let me know what you think in the comments, like, you know, what you think of these VR streams. I'm just so excited I got it figured out. I can pipe the feed into Restream. There we go. So we're actually going to be inside there. So I'm going to pick.
Please select training, mission, or explorer mode.
So there's the training. I skipped the training. So it's going to go straight to explore. This gives me kind of free map. Data tablet grabbing. Laser. Ooh. Okay. Setting button to continue. So I can grab stuff. Stuff's loading in 3D. Can I hit stuff? Whoa! So what's very disorienting, and you don't think about this, you see this in a lot of sci-fi, is up doesn't mean what you think it would. Right? So I'm gonna go here, and what's cool is you can check out the laptops and stuff. Whoops. Come on. I have a laser? Oh. Ugh. Like, it's very hard to. Oh yeah, you also get Facebook message notifications in here. It's still owned. So even right now, like, I'm already feeling a little bit like woozy, because if you look back, like, up and down is not kind of what you think it would be, and I probably should stop because this made me nauseous. Come on, quit. There we go. So here I am back in my cyberpunk apartment. I don't know, I think it's interesting because I can, right here, yes, so I see that. Cool, I really appreciate that, Saduki. So what platform is this? This is the Oculus Quest 2, and what's interesting about this is, it's got double dirty. Kids love this. It's relatively inexpensive, it's $300. I think there's a slightly more expensive version at Costco that has more memory. And This one I got at Micro Center, which I think is headquartered not too far from you, Saduki. Um, and what's fascinating about this is, one, I can go from, I can simulate kind of what it's like to be in weightlessness, kind of that disorientation. And I have newfound respect because you hear it all the time that up is not up and something like that. But this is very real. And I don't know, it just feels very real. And the idea that, I don't know how practical it is. Again, you mentioned, So this reminds you of some of the things NASA shared at SpaceX Apps Hackathon. We should get you on a live stream and you can talk about that. Way back when we were in person, can you imagine? Yes, that's true, Dr. Kumar. It's just fascinating because in my stream yesterday, I went from where was I? I was somewhere, I just remember going from kind of this virtual environment to Coney Island to, my Swiss chalet. It was pretty cool. There's something to it. And, as someone who's played around with virtual reality for a while, hold that thought. I'll get a book. Hold on. Hold that thought. I've been fascinated with virtual reality for a long time, a really long time. So this here, VRML2 book in 21 days. So this book is so old, it has the old Internet Explorer. So this actually works with the Internet Explorer logo. And I've always felt that, I don't know, I think it's a cool technology just in its own right, but I also feel that in a very real way, it's always been a solution looking for a problem. But in terms of being able to, particularly in a pandemic, being able to travel, being able to do a virtual tour of all these places around the world without leaving my chair, I think there's certain value with that. What's interesting was I set up the virtual desktop, which is an app that comes, you have to pay for it, but I can kind of simulate what it's like to be in a big environment or a different environment. I don't know, will I ever go into a coffee shop? Well, will we ever go in a coffee shop again and work there, or a bookstore? And you always wish you had a bigger monitor. Would I ever don that and kind of tune out my environment? I don't know. But I can easily imagine that there would be some environments where that would be worthwhile. And you'll see that it actually just switched over to the Chrome screensaver, which in itself is pretty cool. So I see the comments here when you mentioned motion sickness. You get that too? See, I don't get motion sickness. I'm pretty resilient to that. So the fact that it does that to me is that, and I wonder. So one of the things I read online was as soon as you feel that way, you have to get away from it, because there were times when I'm well, I'll just tough it through, and it actually makes it much worse, and it takes longer to recover. So even now, I'm just getting over it, and it's been a few minutes. But that's actually pretty interesting. Yeah, Dr. Kumar, yeah, it is awesome tech. I'm excited I'm able to broadcast it, because I think it's there's enormous potential here. And I know there's a lot of controversy because Facebook owns it, Facebook or Meta, whatever they call themselves now. But it is an interesting environment. I do like the fact that I could respond to messages, Facebook Messenger, kind of right there. I think that's pretty cool. Again, it's just the little things that make it work. Just that ability to explore a space. Now, I did sign up for Facebook Workspaces, which supposedly is a collaborative environment. I did see some chatter online about Microsoft having some kind of environment for Metaverse. I need to double click on that and learn more about it. But for the most part, let me see, can I adjust this so I'm, there we go. You can see the other side of my office, not the matrix, well, you can see some of the matrix screens. But I think it's a fascinating thing. I'm going to see more about kind of streaming this. I definitely want to get my hands on the SDK. There's a new podcast I'm working on about kind of virtual reality and augmented reality. I think this technology has serious potential. I think we're at the point now where whether it's something like this or something like this, which you can, assuming I can open it properly, you just drop your smartphone in. Our smartphones have enough computing power to kind of render this. Now this is better. It does have some more abilities, the ability to have your hand devices and things like that. But, for the most part, the technology is not the barrier. I think it's just about the creative solutions. Fun fact, a new family tradition is that we watch the Thanksgiving Day Parade. I watched it growing up in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. But the last few years, we've watched it in VR, right? And, you just put this on, it streams on YouTube, and you feel like you're there. And my kids won't watch it on TV anymore. So I think that's an interesting kind of thing what the kids are growing up with. Now, is VR perfect? No. Is it going to replace real reality? I don't think so. Not anytime soon. Yes, that is like the Google Cardboard. Basically, this is the fancier version. I think I picked this one up at Wegmans. So a supermarket was selling kind of VR holders. And all it really is a you slide your cell phone in there and you run like different apps and things like that, and it just it splits the view, and each side gets it. The potentiometer kind of measures your angle and things like that. I mean, this was about $20, and this is about $200. Obviously, with the $200 one, you get a little bit more. But just the fact that this is really approachable. Obviously, the real expense for this is in your cell phone, but most people would have those anyway. I'm just excited about the potential here because think about it in terms of education and simulation. I think you mentioned this, that NASA was using this. I mean, if I were going to go to space, hearing about how the lack of gravity means there's no up, there's no down is very disorienting. It sounds like it. But until I tried this on, it was really disorienting. It was like I was going through the space station. I was trying to figure out how to open the hatch, and it was just so bizarre. I looked behind me, and what was down was now at 90 degrees, and I'm like, oh. And that's why I was like, I had to turn it off. So. There's probably training and stuff like that. I didn't go through that. I just went straight to the sandbox world where you kind of walk around or float around the space station. Very interesting. So your Android camera lets you take 360 photos. Oh, you got to tell me what Android you have, because I would love to be able to take 360 photos and videos and kind of just capture that environment, capture kind of stuff in 360. I've been pondering getting one of those, but I didn't know how good they were. That's cool. So you can experience your cabin at home. That's really cool. Yeah, I mean, there's something about it. I think we're very much in the infancy phase of this, right? If you think back to, if you're old enough to remember what the infancy of the internet was, right? You pull up a web browser and you see text and graphics, and some people would be like, okay, they would look at that and say, big deal, right? Other people would look at it and say, wow, what potential. And I think we're very much taking off the little plastic thingy here. I think we're very much in the same state here with VR. I think there's I don't think it's quite as practical yet. I think augmented reality realistically would probably be the better option. But very cool to play with. I am very excited. I am super excited. Older Pixel. Oh, so you have an older Pixel that does that. Pixel 3a. Interesting. I wonder if the new Pixel does that. Because I'm still rocking a Samsung Note 8, which it's going to be at least 4 or 5 years old now. I'm probably eligible for a new phone. But anyway, I think it's fascinating. Fascinating technology. I've said fascinating how many times now? But yeah, so I think that we are on the cusp of something big, not just in quantum, but I think also with this. So I'm really excited to get that third podcast off the ground. If you would like to be a guest on that, let me know in the comments below. And who knows, maybe we can host a kind of thing here on LinkedIn, but through some kind of virtual event space. That would be kind of cool, wouldn't it? But yeah, it's fascinating. I'll call this show the Fascinating Show. But I think it's I think the technology's there. I think we're at that point where somebody's just going to make a killer app for it. What's it going to be? Is it going to be e-commerce like it was with the web? Is it going to be kind of streaming media like what Web 2.0 real killer app was? I don't know. I'm not sure yet. But I do know that the future is here, and it's relatively affordable, like in terms of this. Comparable headsets. I was at a conference a couple weeks ago, and they were talking about how low power these devices are, and the context it was really for kind of engineering visualizations and stuff like that. And they had like 4 or 5 of these. If you look at my Instagram, I have a bunch. Yeah, I mean, it's $300, right? You get what you get. Like some of these headsets will cost, $1,200 to $3,000 for the HoloLens. Obviously, each one has their own strengths and weaknesses, but I mean, in terms of a consumer device, this is hard to beat. Just at the price point and its ease of use, its integration with Facebook, for good or for ill. But I'm digging it. So with that, thanks for your comments, Saduki, Dr. Gautam, I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong, Shubham, and Dave Barry. And I'm so excited that I have I have enough of a presence now on Twitch that spammers will try to sell me about how to buy followers and stuff like that. That's kind of cool. Anyway, the site is franksworld.com. Look for there for to be announced soon. Oops, am I broadcasting again? I should shut this off. Go to franksworld.com. New episode of Data Driven came out yesterday, and the 3rd podcast will be out soon. I'm targeting this month. So it's going to be called Metaverse Mavens. It's going to be a blog as well. And there's already content on there. And I'm getting a phone call, which really means I should drop off the stream because I got some other things to do. But I want to say thank you for tuning in.